Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom also.
For those of you who don't know us, and I think there are a few of you, since there are a couple of people here whom I don't recognize, I'm Rita Dushman-Rich. This is Amy Margolin. We will be leading services tonight, and we hope you will all participate.
We do.
Yes.
We're not professionals, but we do as good a job as we can. We will start on page 10 with Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, Hine Matov. La 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 la. Hine Matov, Hine Matov. La 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 la. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. And right below that is Ma Yafeh Hayom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I heard a few more voices on that last one, so let's keep it up, guys. Let's join in.
And we'll continue with Lo Yisol Goy.
Which is on page, you can find on page 24.
Lo Yisel Goy Chev. Whoops. Lo Yisel Goy Al Milchamai. Lo Yisel Goy El Goy Cherev. Lo Yisel Du Al Milchamai. Lo Yisel Goy El Goy Cherev. Lo Yimoldu Al Milchamai. Lo Yisel Goy El Goy Cherev. Lo Yimoldu Al Milchama. Lo Yisel Goy El Goy Cherev. Lo Yimoldu Al Milchama. Lo Yisel Goy El Goy Cherev. Lo Yimoldu Al Milchama.
And Carol, Carol, have you asked someone to light the candles tonight? Oh, Linda. Okay, great. We asked Linda to come and join us and light the candles.
The candle blessings are on page 2.
Amen.
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 Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
We turn to page 7 and read, "Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
And we turn to page 20 in Lecha Dodi. Please join me. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishme'anu elcham yuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha Ki mechachor habracha Merosh mekadem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'shavacha techila. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Verse 5. Hitorari, hitorari, ki vioteku miori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alaik nigla. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam smesimcha uzot hola. Tochu maneam segula. Boi chala. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat mekabela. Thank you. And on page 24, Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setzem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitkadav Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah B'yamad Yivrach Yirteh V'yamlich Malchuteh B'chayei Chom V'yomei Chom U'chayei Kol Beit Yisrael B'hagala B'hagala U'vizman Kariv V'yimaru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'alam Almei Amaya Yitbarak V'yitbarak V'yishtabak V'yitba'ar V'yitraman V'yitnaseh V'etadar, v'etaleh, v'etalal, shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damin ravi alma, v'imaru, amen.
Please rise.
If you are able.
We turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Please join me on page 30 in the Hebrew.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potech she'arim, u'vitbunah meshane etim, u'machalif et chazmanim, u'mesader et ha'kochavim, b'mishvarotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, goler or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevin layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai Sevaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. On page 32, in the English, everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated as we turn to page 38.
36?
36. 38.
Ve'ahavta.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha ובשול נפשך ובכל מאודך לי 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך לה 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 ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושופטך ופגומך ובשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך לה 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 למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzietechem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
We turn to page 39. In the middle of the page, we'll read responsively. In a world, in a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice, as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nadar b'kodesh, norati lod osei pele, norati lod osei pele, malchutecha ra'u v'necha bokei ayam, Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli, Zeli, Anu v'Yamru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, uglalo miyad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. And on page 42, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, b'hamidenu shomrei nu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, b'hamidenu shomrei nu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu beitza tova milfanecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, b'hamidenu shomrei nu l'chaim. Ushmor setenu uvoenu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, b'hamidenu shomrei nu l'chaim. And on the bottom of page 44, Yismachu. Yismachu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismachu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Makadashei, Makadashei Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbahu, V'yisbemtengu v'yitagu v'afka Shabbat, Yismachu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Chemdat Yamin Oto Karatat Shabbat Yismachu V'Malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'Korei Oneg Shabbat Yismachu V'Malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'Korei Oneg Shabbat Zecher Lamase Lamase V'Reshit Shabbat Zecher Lamase Lamase V'Reshit Shabbat Yismachu V'Malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'Korei Oneg Shabbat.
We turn to page 46 and rise for the Amidah, for the Tefillah.
If you were able. Adonai siftatita ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovin, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imot, U'Mevi Lulav Linehem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Ham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol atah V'rat Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakeh Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol B'Rachamim Rabbi, Zomech Noflim Urfei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh Emenoto, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech V'Mitu Mechayeh, Umatzmiya Yeshua. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh Hakol, Atah Kadosh B'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kodeshim B'Kol Yom V'Halu Aselach. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated, and we turn to page 55. Sorry. In the middle of the page, we read together. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual of humans.
Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of the living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the walls of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred into action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. And on page 57, the top of the page, Reitzei, Reitzei, Reitzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'Amcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam, B'ahavat Yisrael, Utehi leratzon tamid, Utehi leratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, She'otecha levadecha, B'yira navod, She'otecha levadecha, B'yira navod.
On page 59, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, and for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we give thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha v'lecha
Nadot. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lekol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב עם ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם.
We take a moment now for silent prayer.
יהיו לרצון אמרפי, בגיגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני סורי, אדוני סורי, וגואלי, וגואלי. Oh, say shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimaru, amen.
Turn now to page 244 for the beginning of the Torah service. We ask you to rise, and we invite Lily Brownberry up, who will be reading Torah for us today. Please rise.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kama'asecha, malhutecha malhut kol olamim, u'meshalcha b'kol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz le'mo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai Amushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'Kdushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagedula, V'Hagevura, V'Hatiferet, Ha'akol, Ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Ki bo b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lecha Adonai ha'mamlacha, Lecha mitnaseh l'kol l'rosh, Al shlosha devarim le'olam omen, Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omen, Al Torah v'al avodah v'al gimlut chasadim. Lo yisel goy el goy cherev, Lo yimaldu ad milchama, Lo yisel goy el goy cherev, Lo yimaldu ad milchama, Lo yisel goy el goy cherev, Lo yimaldu ad milchama, Lo yisel goy el goy cherev, Lo yimaldu ad milchama.
And I call Stephen Solomon to do our blessings.
And the blessings are on page
You may be seated.
250, yes.
The Torah portion for this week comes from Matot. It is Numbers, from Numbers 30. Lily will be reading verses 2 through 17, and it can be found on page, if you have the Chumash, it can be found on page 1100.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Ba'ed. Amen.
וידבר משה אל ראשי המטות לבני ישראל לאמור, זה הדבר אשר ציווה אדוני, איש כי ידור נדר לאדוני, או השיבה שבוע לאסור איסר, על נפשו לא יאכל דברו ככל היוצא מפיו יעשה, ועשה כי תדור נדר לאדוני, ואסרה איסר בבית אביה בנריה, ושמע אביה את נדרה ואסרה אשר אסרה על נפשה בהפריש. לאביה וכמו כל נדריה וכל איסר אשר אסרה על נפשו יקום, ואם הני אביה אותה ביום שמו כל נדרה, ואסריה Asher, Asra al Nafsha, Lo Yakum, the Adonai, Yislach la, Ki Heni Aviha, Ota, Ve'im, Hayo, Tiye La'aseh, Binedareha, Aleha, O Nifta, Sfateha Asher, Asra, Al Nafsha, B'Shama, Isha, Bayom, Shamo, B'Hacharish, La V'Kamo, Mu, Nidareha, Ve'esara, Asher, Asra, Al Nafsha, Yikamo, Ve'im, Bayom, Shama, Isha, Yami, Ota, V'Hafer, Et, Nidara, Asher, Aleha, Ve'im, Nifta, Sfateha, Asher, Asra, Al Nafsha, Ba'adonai, Yislach la, Vinadar, Vineder, Amana, Ugrusha, Kol Asher, Asra, Al Nafsha, Yakum, Aleha, Ve'im, Beit, Isha, Nidara, O Asra, Isar, Al Nafsha, Bishavua, Bishama, Isha, V'Hacharish, V'Lo, Heni, Ata, V'Kamu, Kol, Nidareha, V'Chol, Isar, Asher, Asra, Al Nafsha, Yakum, Ve'im, Hafer, Yafer, Otam, Isha, Bayom, Shimo, Kol, Motza, Sifateha, Lindareha, Ulisor, Nafsha, La Yakum, Isha, Haferam, La Adonai, Yislach, La Kol, Neder, V'Chol, Shivuat, Isar, Lenot, Nafesh, Isha, Yikimenu, Ve'isha, Yifarenu, Ve'im, Hacharosh, Yicharesh, La, Isha, Mayom El Yom, Ve'hekim, Et Kol, Nidareha, O Et Kol, Esareha, Asher Aleha, Hakim, Otam, Ki, Hacharesh, Labayom, Shamo, Ve'im, Hafer, Yafer, Otam, Achare, Shamo, Vinasha, Et Avona, Ela, Hachukim, Asher, Tziva, Adonai, Et Moshe, Ben Ish, Leishot, Ben Av, Levito, Benurea, Beit Aviha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'kayei olam natan b'koteh Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Will we listen? Thank you, Stephen. I will read the translation. Moses spoke to the heads of the Israelite tribes, saying, "This is what the Eternal has commanded. If a householder makes a vow to the Eternal or takes an oath imposing an obligation on himself, he shall not break his pledge. He must carry out all that has crossed his lips. If a woman makes a vow to the Eternal or assumes an obligation while still in her father's household by reason of her youth, and her father learns of her vow or her self-imposed obligation and offers no objection, all her vows shall stand and every self-imposed obligation shall stand. But if her father restrains her on the day he finds out, none of her vows or self-imposed obligations shall stand, and the Eternal will forgive her since her father restrained her. If she should marry while her vow or commitment to which she bound herself is still in force, and her husband learns of it and offers no objection on the day he finds out, her vows shall stand and her self-imposed obligation shall stand. But if her husband restrains her on the day that he learns of it, he thereby annuls her vow, which was in force or in the commitment to which she bound herself, and the Eternal will forgive her. The vow of a widow or of a divorced woman, however, whatever she has imposed on herself, shall be binding upon her. So too, if while in her husband's household she makes a vow or imposes an obligation on herself by oath, and her husband learns of it, yet offers no objection, thus failing to restrain her, all her vows shall stand, and all her self-imposed obligations shall stand. But if her husband does annul them on the day he finds out, then nothing that has crossed her lips shall stand, whether vows or self-imposed obligations. Her husband has annulled them, and the Eternal will forgive her. Every vow and every sworn obligation of self-denial may be upheld by her husband and annulled by her husband. If her husband offers no objection from that day to the next, he has upheld all the vows or obligations she has assumed. He has upheld them by offering no objection on the day he found out. But if he annuls them after the day he finds out, he shall bear her guilt. Those are the laws that the Eternal enjoined upon Moses between a husband and his wife, and as between a father and his daughter while in her father's household by reason of her youth. And Lily, you disappeared so quickly. Why don't you come back up here? And good job. Thank you. We really are encouraging people to volunteer, to read Torah, to do what they can. It's delightful having some new voices up here reading. It really is really nice. Please rise. Do we have a volunteer who can help with the scroll?
I can help with it.
Noel, okay, are you, okay, great, thank you. That's kind of off balance because we're at the end of numbers, but you can do it.
B'zot haTorah sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai 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 lai.
Of course. Okay, you may be seated. You might notice that today we have a lot of volunteers. We're getting back to having people read, do the blessings before and after Torah, which anybody who would like to do that in the future, please let us know. But we have people who raise the Torah and who dress the Torah, and we want as many people to participate in services as possible. So if you're interested in doing any of these, and certainly if you want to prepare to read a Torah portion, please let us know, because we are delighted to have more people involved. Okay. Excuse me, I am sort of losing my voice today. Okay. An oath, a vow, a promise made in God's name. It is the stuff that many a romantic tale has been made of, as a hero strives to fulfill his vow to God while dealing pragmatically with more earthbound problems. Vows are often viewed as something noble and selfless, but are they really? Jewish tradition would strongly question that. When we make a vow, we are promising to abstain from some activity that is normally not forbidden to us, or to do something that is normally not required of us. In Judaism, we can vow to forego wine or sexual relations or bathing, but not to forego idol worship or bacon cheeseburgers. Those abstentions are required of us, and therefore simply expected. Similarly, we can vow that if we win the lottery, we will donate the money to the local food bank. We cannot vow to commit robbery in order to make such a donation. Good intentions do not override basic law. At its least harmful, a vow can be viewed as negative because it promotes asceticism, an outlook that has never been really highly valued by Jews. We are taught that we must account to God for all the pleasures that are allowed to us that we did not partake of. Intentionally refusing to enjoy the divine gifts is an insult to the giver. Vows are often spoken in the heat of passion, only to be regretted later. Frequently, they are spoken out of anger or resentment rather than true self-sacrifice. A person with honest self-discipline need not resort to vows to act righteously. And although we tend to think of a vow as demonstrating selflessness, it might better be viewed as a completely selfish act, one in which the ego of the one who takes vows takes precedence over the well-being of the rest of the community. In a most extreme example from the Bible, we are told that Jephthah vowed that if God granted him victory over the Ammonites, he would offer what first came out of his door as a burnt sacrifice. When his daughter is the one to first cross the threshold, Jephthah cries out, "Alas, daughter, you have brought me low. You have become my troubler." He is so wrapped up in the supposed sanctity of his own words that he blames the innocent victim of his impulsive vow. Our disdain for vows and oaths serves to emphasize the importance of words in Judaism. With words, God created the universe. With words of the Torah, a group of slaves became a united people. With words, Jewish marriages are sanctified and newborns are welcomed into the covenant. Since the destruction of the temple and the sacrificial cult, words are the way we celebrate our holiest instincts. Time and again, we are reminded of the power of words we utter and of the judgment we should use before we utter them. In Deuteronomy, we are told, "When you make a vow to Adonai, your God, do not put off fulfilling it, for Adonai, your God, will require it of you, and you will have incurred guilt, whereas you will incur no guilt if you refrain from vowing." In Ecclesiastes, the idea is repeated and expanded upon. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it, for he has no pleasure in fools. What you vow, fulfill. It is better not to vow at all than to vow and not fulfill. And I love this next line. Do not let your mouth bring you into disfavor. An entire tractate of the Talmud, Nedarim, is devoted to the making and breaking of vows. Perhaps the memory of Jephthah's daughter caused the rabbis to create ways to escape vows. A court of three could annul a vow made in haste by a man who later regretted his words. Each year on Yom Kippur, the Kol Nidre prayer nullifies in advance vows that we may be pressured into making in the coming year. Today's Torah portion reminds us that for women, there's another way out. A married woman's vow can be annulled by her husband. An unmarried woman's can find her vow annulled by her father if she's still part of his household. It is important to acknowledge that even in the male-dominated world of Torah, there are some limits to a man's control over the woman's vows. A husband cannot force a vow upon his wife, and if he chooses to annul her vow, it must be done on the day that he first hears of it. Why should a man choose to nullify his wife's vow? Obviously, his own self-interest comes to the fore in cases where his wife has promised to abstain from sexual relations or from bathing. Whatever the reason, these laws, like many others in the Torah, place women in a subordinate position to men. Even in her relation to God, a woman needed approval from her husband or father. A woman's vow could not be permitted to inconvenience the man in her life. More than that, a woman had to be protected from the consequences of her own words. This paternalistic attitude has survived through the ages, not only within Judaism, but in the wider community as well. Women need to be protected from themselves. We have been denied everything from career opportunities to the right to vote to complete and appropriate medical care on the basis of the belief that we are not competent to make important decisions on our own. Among the many offensive posturings that I find in the right to lifers, the one that I find most offensive is the notion that they are protecting women from being exploited by abortion. By insisting on laws forbidding abortion, they are demeaning not only those women who make the difficult but extremely personal choice to terminate a pregnancy, but also those women who choose not to have an abortion. Over the centuries, decisions by various organizations to keep women out of the military, for fear we be raped and therefore of less value to the men in our lives, out of the medical profession, lest we be exposed to too great unpleasantness, and out of the White House, lest our raging hormones start a nuclear holocaust, have all been based on the assumption that women cannot be responsible for ourselves, let alone others. It's about time we put those assumptions aside. Surprisingly enough, the Talmud, that bastion of male dominance, provides us with an opportunity to bury some of those paternalistic notions. In her book, In the Image of God, Jewish feminist Judith Antonelli points out that the laws regarding women's vows are not among those described as statutes for all generations. They describe a situation in which a woman was not in control of herself, either because of her youth or because of her marriage. They assumed adulthood at the age, they assumed a world in which a young girl was given to a husband immediately upon reaching adulthood at the age of 12 and a half. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. She could not become independent unless she was divorced or widowed, at which point she became totally responsible for her own words and actions. The Talmud, in discussing a situation in which a divorced couple remarries, asserts that the husband is no longer able to nullify his wife's vows. Once she has gone forth as her own mistress, even for a single hour, he cannot annul. What does that mean for us today? Girls of 12 and a half are no longer promised in marriage, even in Orthodox homes. Frequently, many years elapse between leaving her parents' domain and entering a home she sets up with her husband if she chooses to marry at all. Every woman here who has earned a living or has chosen her own husband has become her own mistress for more than a single hour. Jewish law would be hard-pressed to prove that we are not to be held responsible for our own vows. Unfortunately, each time we take a step forward, we find someone who's determined to pull us back. I am delighted to report that my two granddaughters, who will be heading off to college next month, have chosen to pursue medicine and engineering, two careers that for centuries were firmly closed off to women. At the same time, it horrifies me to know that our current Secretary of Defense is determined to remove women from military positions in which they have performed admirably for years due to prejudice against female soldiers. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Vows no longer play such an important role in the lives of women or of men, but the spoken word still has great value. Too often, women's words have been ignored or overruled because they are regarded as unimportant or born of emotion rather than of logic. But everyone's words deserve to be heard. If we want our voices to be acknowledged and respected, we must assure ourselves that our words have value, that they are not spoken in haste or anger, or used for vengeance or self-aggrandizement. That goes for women and for men. Our tradition teaches us about the importance of words. It is up to us to keep that tradition alive.
While the Torah is still out, we will list the people who need our prayers in the Misha Berach prayer. On page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu, Makor HaBracha Lavotenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I think of those who could not be with us because of illness. And today we especially think of Sylvia Hyman, Paul Burt, Maxine Halles, Carrie Wright, Jen Baker, Marcia Scher, Mary Lucid, Kaylin Carter, Leah Bat-Gittel Fischel, Beth Harlan, Marla Harlan, Marlene Maiman, Richard Lapidis, Harry Rich, Johanna Smith, Julie Bainbridge, Chaim Simcha Ben Moshe Miriam Devora, Augustine Green, Binyamina Batshava Adam, Ella Dubrow, Brandon Watts, Bert Seidel, Isaac Spicer, Norman and Carol Leist, Rob Mandel, Ken Rosenzweig, Anna Pullman Garcia, Casimira Cairo, Catherine Cooper, Sid Gross, Cicely Nathan, Gary Pasternick. As I spread my hand across the room, if you have another name to add to our Misha Berach list, please do so. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all of those who are ill. May God send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. We're going to ask you to rise as we return the Torah to the Ark.
Eitz chaim hi l'makasim kimba et Toratecha meushar deracheyam darchei Noam v'chol nativotecha shalom shalom v'hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'natuva v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem chadesh yameinu kekedem.
We turn now to page 282 for the Aleinu, and just as a word of warning, or recently it's been our custom simply to go from the reading Aleinu on page 82 and jump right into Bayom Hahu. Tonight we're going to be reading the intermediate verses which are on page 285. So don't get too quick about things.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar Lamelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo echad. You can be seated. And on page 291 at the bottom of the page,
There are stars above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. And as we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death.
and we are observing the Shiva for Jeremy Watts and Harold Heighton, and Shloshim for Marlene Forsyth and Rabbi Lawrence Paul Carroll. It is the art site this week of Blanche E. Asher, Meyer Bachrach, Maurice Bertelstein, Hannah Buckbinder, Franklin T. Cohn, Hans Henning Gerns, Harry A. Green, Mary Grunenberg, Harry F. Hempel, Mary Hanlon, Carrie Huber, John Indalesio, Max M. Kahn, Hyman Kuhlbach, Eric Marsh Lee, Joshua Evan Levine, Melvin Lipton, Max Mann, Charles Makudis, Alex Pearl, Anna Pearl, Herbert Pearl, Miriam Stein Prigozhin, Simon Sanders, Charlotte E. Schumann, Elise L. Shumsky, Sylvia L. Solomon, Ruth M. Tepping, Jennifer Thomas Larson, Ruth K. Tiber, Herman J. Weissman, Louis Weprin. If anyone has additional name, or if I pronounce someone's name incorrectly, please correct me.
We ask those who are in mourning or remembering to please rise first. And then we all rise as a community in support as we turn to page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach hirutei v'yomlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman karim v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha berichu, le'olam mimchol birchata v'shiratacha, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronan livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
You may be seated.
And we will end the service with Ein Kelohenu. It is on page 322. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkenu, Ein Kamoshienu, Micha Eloheinu, Micha Adonenu, Micha Malkeinu, Micha Moshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos, and please join us for Kiddush and Motzi in the hallway.